Doo doo doo. The number you have dialed is no longer in service. Doo doo doo.
Hello. This is Ian Bryce, and you're listening to Under the Tree, our pre episode number 2. I think this will probably be our last episode, unless I can get one more person from the old team to come in and talk. But, so this will probably be the last one, is what I'm saying. You know how that team was. So, thank you again. And here we are. I usually hate podcasts that do like little intros before they get into the podcast. I know a lot of people fast forward through those. I always get annoyed by them, but now that I'm doing this, it makes sense because sometimes you gotta give up some information up front that you missed in the actual, interview thing or whatever you were doing, your actual main podcast, or things change. Things change. Um, so yeah, uh, you just heard the what happened when I reached out to Clark Kent. That was the response I got, and you're probably like, "What? That's not the normal thing you hear when calls don't go through." What was that? That was me not feeling like putting that in, and just it was easier for me to just wake up my own wife at 12:30 at night and make her say those things into my phone. That was easier for me. Don't forget, this podcast also touches on mental health awareness, and I didn't have the brain power to do that. And I'm lazy. I mean, geez, come on. All right. So, what special treat do I have for you? You say, "Oh, look, I found someone from the old team that was ready to talk and fill in some gaps for me, some things I'm missing." It's a good convo. I'm gonna give you some tips there, because I've been getting a lot of feedback. So, for you audiophiles, you might hear some crickets. We were close to being outside, and this is we live on the bayou here in Virginia Beach, and that's what we do. We just sit on the porch and try to solve murders. Sorry, oh, sorry. I gotta clean my spittoon out later. Do boo. It's a great interview. It's a first our first guest really on the podcast. I appreciate all of you subscribing and joining, and I've been getting a lot of emails and messages from people that are happy that this is being looked at into again, and some people offering me your theories and stuff. Listen, I'll take. I can't promise I'll do anything with them, but I'm listening. I'm listening. So, we're gonna ask, anyone that if you have any information you want to give, go ahead and give it to me. If you just something you want to talk about, or if you want to offer some free services, like I said, this is a broke podcast. Don't forget that part. I'm hoping that maybe the community can come together and I won't have to yell at ChatGPT so much because I'm generally a good manager to other people, but man, the things I tell Chat GPT, I mean, I deserve a write up if HR saw the things that I tell Chat GPT. I even try to be positive though. I'm like, okay, Chat GPT, you're overthinking it. Do this. Still messed up. I saw. Oh God, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing here. But listen, this is going to be a great interview. Stick around. Stick around. Some people said, "Oh, Ian, you're talking too slow. Can you speed it up a little bit?" Hey, if you look in the bottom right corner, you can like times two the speed yourself. So if you want to talk like this, you can do that. But hey, some people like to that little banter or whatever. I'm just being myself. Okay. So if you don't like me, still listen because you'll like Shellie, and you'll like what I'm doing here and the goal. Okay. Go listen to this on the treadmill. Why you do the dishes, whatever. God, why are people so complicated? And everyone's giving me feedback. I asked the person my sister's dating for some feedback, right? Because they gave me some good feedback the first time on the trailer, right? This person was just like, "No, I have no feedback for you." Like, okay, that's just rude. Nothing to say, you know? Let's see if they last till Thanksgiving. I know my sister. Alrighty, let's get into it. Here comes the interview with me and my old team member, Zloh. Enjoy. Hey, this is Ian Bryce with Under the Tree, pre-episode number 2. We got a special treat here for you. I keep talking about other people, and I keep talking about the team that was, but I actually got a member of the before team to help me figure out what did I miss. So I'm going to introduce you as Zloh, right? Yes. This is Zloh. Could you say hi, people?
Hello.
He's Zloh. We're happy to have you, and by we I mean me, because like I said, you remember, right? Team of
3.
that's what it was. It was a team of 3, but now team of 1, or maybe I don't know. We'll
maybe
see how
the
this
dynamic
goes.
duo. Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe with the dynamic duo.
All right, we'll see if we can bring our old partner back here on board with us. So yeah, let's get started. Um, I need you to help me figure out, how did this? You did listen to the episode, I assume.
I didn't.
See, and this is why there's a team of 1. Why?
Look, I've been a little
Why
busy.
listen
I'm
to it?
sorry.
Mhm.
I literally have on my to-do list. Personal. Listen, I'm going on vacation in a week. I was planning to.
Vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people can't go on vacation.
And who knew that you were going to be recording a live podcast like this?
Yeah.
Like so quickly.
Yeah.
You didn't even give me a chance to listen.
So quickly. It took us how many years to get here?
You're right. But her murder is still unsolved, so.
I know, right? It's really bad for people like, with us with our disorder.
Yeah. I mean, ADHD, 2 people with ADHD.
Yeah.
We have other passion projects sometimes.
Yeah,
you know how that goes.
Exactly. And it's like, well, it's not like even close to get. It's like we got time.
Yeah.
Keep
all the time in the world, apparently.
Putting it off and putting it off. But here we are.
Yep.
Finally, I'm going to say what brought me here, to really getting started is, my stepdad died this year in January. As you remember, he fell through a roof. Murdered by Sir Isaac Newton.
Yeah, gravity's a bitch,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it? I mean, God,
Yeah.
what goes up
must come down.
exactly.
Yeah.
And you go up on a roof untrained, and,
Yeah, it's
no
unstable.
straps.
Yeah. R.I.P.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah, rest in peace. But so that led me to death. Remember that one thing, death, right?
Yeah.
And then reminder, I did mention this in the last episode. My youngest son, middle name Carson. Named Carson as just a reminder for me to do this podcast. So that was another reason too, because I'm like, he's getting older. I think he might be a little smarter than the other ones.
Yeah, he is pretty smart, actually.
Yeah, yeah. So he's like, just digging around, asking questions. I just
and he's ready to solve the murder of Shellie Carson.
He could be.
Okay.
He could be. But so I just wanted to, really, complete those promises that past Ian made to present Ian.
I gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So to tell me how you remember this started, because I just said how we started, just hanging out, getting, drunk, thinking about it.
I think it, we used to hang out at my house when we were really young, 18, 19. And remember that one corner by my house had the Shellie Carson vinyl sign up for the longest time. And then right there on Bonnie Road, they had the billboard.
Yeah.
So within that 1 mile stretch on Rosemont Road, or between our houses, we would always see it. And so we'd always drive by that one vinyl. And then, I think one day I realized it was missing and I mentioned it to you. And so I think that kind of let's look up the website. And then
Justice for Shellie.
Yeah, the justiceforshellie.com, which is also now defunct. It's no longer in existence.
Yeah.
But it was like just like a treasure trove of like lots of information and stuff like that. And I think, we would hang out, get drunk, start talking about it, and then go down the rabbit hole. And it would happen, and we would cycle through it, every few months, few years, bring other people into it. I mean, I have
our own guests.
Like
guests.
I have friends and coworkers that will ask me about, certain people and characters and like what happened to this or that. So, I mean, there is some attention, and I think we've always like kind of been, drawn to this story because it was just so strange.
Yeah, extremely strange. I made a joke about it last night when I was performing. I said, man, this murder, it's crazy. Unsolved. Went to school with the girl. And the craziest part of all, she's white. And it's a white girl. Died with, with barely any news coverage, really. No national coverage in any way.
Yeah, and like died a brutal death.
Yeah.
And it just kind of disappeared. No one... We heard about it. She was in our, class at one point in our school. And then, we all graduated, and literally she died and disappeared. No one ever heard anything more.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty sad.
Until
Klarke Kent's daughter.
Oh, yeah. And so finally, Shellie started getting a little bit more attention a few years after her murder because of a local high schooler who made it her mission to look into it a little bit more. It was a little bit of a strange senior project, but hey, who doesn't love a good murder mystery?
I forgot about that.
Oh, you
completely forgot.
Oh.
All right. Because another one to show fun.
So that is how the crime solvers and all that stuff came involved in the reward money. So the reward money was like furnished, I guess, through that project at some point. I think there was at one point, it was like a $5,000 reward. And then that senior project had raised enough where I think Shellie and Shellie's family maybe had raised the other half to support it. And so I think the final reward was supposed to be $40,000.
But so how did Klarke Kent get in control of the website? Is he the one that...
I'm trying to remember. I think it did start as like a silly like senior project. He got the website published for his daughter so they could get started. And he became fast friends with Shellie's father. Mm-hmm. And through that, I think like really got into it. And senior year was well over, and he was still investigating this on his own with Shellie's dad.
Wait. So the daughter started the website. Klarke Kent.
Yes, it was
female Klarke Kent.
My understanding of the whole thing when we visited him, part of his story, was that his involvement started because his daughter like made it her senior project. And so I think that's how the website started, like Justice for Shellie. And it just grew into like a more organic type of like fundraiser type of awareness. Because I mean, the level of like obsession and like detail, and it's just a little bizarre for anyone to have that much knowledge into someone else's murder case who's not part of the family or part of the, like, I don't know, police investigation.
Yeah.
Like he had nothing to do with it. He was just a random guy who decided to get involved because his daughter wanted to.
Interesting.
But do you remember,
I thought, let me tell you what I remember. I thought that how they met was that he met the mom and dad after Shellie died at like a grieving parents meeting. I'm not sure what that is. And like his son died in a car accident.
Oh, I don't remember any of this.
Yeah, we're gonna have to investigate that now, right?
Now I know that I remember that because we did a deep dive on Klarke Kent, and we did confirm that he did have the loss of an adult son, maybe a teen son.
It was like a son he had in his 30s, and then this daughter was like a late in life kid. Yeah. So.
Which
I mean, that's great too. Right. I mean, having a kid in your 50s, I mean,
sure.
That's why they call him Superman. Superman. All right. So yeah, tell me about when we went over there for our first meeting with Mr. Clark Kent. Yeah. What did you think of like the house and everything?
Yeah, so we did a little recon before we went,
Little
and
Google Mapping.
yeah,
It's
and
legal.
so
Don't judge us.
Clark Kent kind of lived in an affluent area of Virginia Beach, like
Oh, yeah.
kind of well off, on the water, very
Listen,
nice.
They're having a good time over there.
Yeah,
Okay?
they certainly are. And so, like, we pull up to this house. It's in the fall, and there's leaves everywhere, and it's a very large house. I mean, massive.
Yeah.
I mean, 7 bedrooms probably. I mean, it was a very, very large house. I mean, his wife is a doctor.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Um.
Yes, Dr. Doom, of course.
Yes. So I think we arranged some midday, like afternoon meeting with him.
Yeah, so
It was in the
an
fall.
old man meeting,
It was in the fall.
1 p.m. meeting. Right.
And I remember we drove over there, and we were both like super nervous because we were like, what is he going to do? Is he going to show up? And I think we were going over there with the intention of him to ask him basically for more, almost like a blessing. And like,
and a little,
hey, we're letting you know we're doing this. Yeah. But also, like, the blessing was more of like a, hey, we need to, like, we're going to need some information.
Like, yeah, what you got? Buddy?
Yeah, because, like, what he had been posting online, again, speculation, his personal interpretation. So, I mean, it was a lot of...
Yeah, we were just trying to start over, honestly.
Like, yeah, because it just didn't seem like... Like, I think he had a lot of leads, but he didn't have, like... He just had the drama behind it, and he was really wrapped up in the drama. Like... He was all up in the drama because he would like make those side comments when we met with him about like, oh yeah, that person's nasty. Or, like,
yeah, right. He's like measuring skulls and like, oh yes, of course they're the killer.
Yeah, he's like analyzing, like, oh, this person's dad is this, and like, well, that could be, like, again, like really stretching like who he thought might be the murderer. Or I think some of his theories were also there were multiple people.
Yes, multiple people. That's one of his theories. Okay, so we thought that this is where Clark Kent murders us.
Yes,
because he must actually be the killer.
Yeah. So I actually
follow me.
Yeah. So I actually remember this part really clearly because we were both sitting on that leather couch. It was kind of slick. We had both dressed up, and yes, you had taken your mom's Lexus to impress him because we had done that recon before and knew the house was super fancy.
Why had to, get my secretary to book, the meeting, babysitter.
I know, I get it. So we wanted to look profesh. So we went, and so we're like slipping and sliding on that couch, and he like says it again to us, and like turns, he's like, "Come with me," and we were like, "Okay." And so I looked at you, and I was like, "All right," like we just both walked in there, like this might be it.
Gonna have the murder weapon in the shadow box or something.
So he takes us through this narrow hallway, and again, his house is, the outside of it is beautiful. It overlooks the Thalia area.
Oh yeah, the backyard. My God.
Yeah, remember it was like all water. There's like people there playing.
I didn't even know it's this nice in Virginia Beach.
Yeah, I was like, dang, this is like paradise back here. And he walks us through this tiny little hallway, that narrow hallway, into a laundry room. And on the left side, there was a washer and dryer. But on the left side and all around the perimeter of the room were built-in shelves, custom shelves, where he proceeded to tell us that every single, and this was full to the brim, there's papers everywhere, that this is all the information that he has on Shellie. And we thought we had struck gold.
Yeah.
We were like, we're in. Like, this is it.
Yeah. Yeah, we're like, we can get through this.
I can't remember what happened in that weird ass laundry room at the end.
He had a bunch of papers on top of the dryer.
Yeah, and he was trying to show us something, but it was like, we had asked for something specific. Do you remember what it was?
It was the autopsy.
We did. Oh,
that was our goal.
We had a goal.
Forever.
Yes. Our goal was we wanted the autopsy. And he said, come with me. And that's when he took us into this, like, his detective room or whatever, his evidence room.
That's where I fold the whites.
Yeah, and my evidence locker.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, here's my bloody blah blah blah. I don't know. So he's like showing it. He's like rifling through papers, like, mind you, everything is pristinely organized looking, like binders, dividers, everything. I mean, he literally just bragged to us seconds before about how, like, he has this whole composition of everything that they did.
Yeah.
And how they've dictated all these notes and they've done all this stuff. Mind you, everything's on paper. There's not a single freaking electronic thing. Not a single electronic thing. So anything that he was doing on the blog,
He printed out
and then redacted it with a Sharpie and scanned it back in. Well, you could just take a screenshot online. So this is like the type of guy we're dealing with here. Like,
okay, so he probably missed a few dinners with his family, you know, like, come on, Dad, let's. He's like, can't you see I'm redacting my own writing?
I would assume so at this point. Like, I mean, think about like us, like just dabbling in it, and how much time it took. Like, this man became obsessed with solving this murder, and to the point where it had to have been detrimental to his like family life, home life. Something.
I mean, that's by his age. That had to be like what, his whole retirement, probably.
Honestly,
like
his retirement age. Yeah, because he was definitely old, only 72. Yeah. So he was retired, and that's all he did. Like, he must have been. He had to have been consumed with it. There was. I mean, it was very apparent. Even like, I mean, because we've done the recon on the family of Klarke Kent, we know that his wife was a very like lucrative doctor who, you know, invented something, you know, at a local, you know, medical school. Yeah. And so from that, you know, I think like she was probably a workaholic and wasn't at home. And I think he had an adult daughter who wasn't coming back home.
The home didn't feel like it had a woman's touch.
Yeah, it just didn't seem like there was much organization at all. Like, it might have been like a maybe I live upstairs, he lives downstairs type. I don't know. Well, I'm speculating, but like based on the appearance of the house and like the manner of this like laundry room, it was kind of insane. So in that laundry room, he's again rifling through it and he's bragging about how organized it was and how he has all this evidence. Yet he cannot furnish the autopsy for us. Yeah, he. Pretend he couldn't find it. He claimed he couldn't find it. Oh, I need to go through this and reorganize. Remember, he was like, he was just taught, and he kept pointing all these different binders, and they were all labeled. Every single one of them was labeled, and you kept pressing him. You were very kind about it because it was an old man, I think. But you were like, hey, like,
I'm not coming out empty-handed. We came all this way. There's Lexuses involved. We're dressed up. This is also a weekday.
I also like took off. I left my office early to go on this I was like, gotta go. Bye.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah, I was like, I took off work to do this. Like, I was like, we are getting something. I had like coworkers like asking me like slacking me like, what's the status? Are you alive? Like, they were like,
are you in chains?
Yeah, because like they had read the blog as well. Like,
did you tell anyone where you were going? Like an actual address? Because I did.
I don't think I did either.
Oh, you know what? Only William probably knew. Right?
She did know.
Okay.
Yeah, she knew where we were.
That was our third former partner. So only she could have came to rescue us.
Yeah, all the way from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Real helpful. I don't know why we didn't think that one through. Honestly, I think we had the conversation before we walked in that he was an old man.
Yeah.
We could take him.
I had to shout at him so hard in the phone.
Yes.
Know, like, hello, it's me. Hello, Superman. It's Ian Bryce. And I remember being like, if you're so rich, why don't you buy a hearing aid that's like, you know, because I wanted some then, you know, like what, 34, 30. I would have loved a hearing aid, you know?
Supersonic hearing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, so he kind of gets flustered when we start pressing him for more info. We want to see stuff. He never really left the room, so we couldn't really like, you know, rummage ourselves. So I'm not sure like what kind of made us go back to the living room area, but we kind of went back there and I'm not really sure, like he kind of started ending the visit at that point. Like, he was kind of done, like, you know, okay, like, well, I'll see what I can do about finding that for you. And we were like, okay, well, when can we expect it? Like, you know, and then that's when you and I kind of prompted him and asked if it was possible that perhaps we could come over, you know, and schedule a time with him. If he wasn't comfortable with us, you know, removing anything from his house, would he be okay with us coming over and looking through some of the evidence that he had collected just to help substantiate our, you know, podcast findings and like what we wanted to report? Because we were trying to, you know, it was, you know, I think where our real goal was trying to get like within like, wasn't like the 15-year mark. I can't remember. Maybe the 15 years had passed.
The anniversary.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, but I mean, like next year will be 20 years.
Yeah,
and it's still unsolved. Like
we're at 19 years. I was really upset that we didn't come out with anything.
Yeah.
Then I remember going over there alone.
What happened then? Because I actually don't remember you going there alone. I thought when you and I went was our like first time.
That could have been the first, but then I went alone again.
That's right. I couldn't go
like,
the second time.
I'm gonna build a relationship with this man.
Yeah, because I think that's what we talked
about.
He
was really lonely.
Yes, because I remember when we left, we were strategizing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do we get through this guy? Because he's got an iron fist on this documents. Like, he's not giving them to us.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just want to know this isn't a form of manipulation. We're using our powers for good.
Yeah.
Here in the end.
Yeah. Can't help but to be intelligent.
And maybe we would be friends, if you could have heard what I was saying.
Yeah, but you know what? Sometimes you have to do things to get things done. So, anyway, we strategized, came out with a plan. You were gonna befriend him. I think I was gonna go with you, and then something happened with work, and I couldn't go. So you went alone. But what happened after that? I don't remember.
You remember I worked from home.
Yes.
So I remember having 3 cars at a certain point. I was like, "This is ridiculous. I don't leave." So got rid of 2 of them. So I didn't have a car. But we are seeing a boomer. We have to. Yeah. They care a lot about appearances. That's a big deal to them.
Yeah. Yes.
So I remember I didn't have a car, and I took like an Uber over there.
Yeah.
And he was like so surprised, like, "You work at Amazon and you don't have a car?" I was like, "Yeah, I don't have one."
Lots of people don't have a car.
Then it got weird. He was like, "My daughter. I bought my daughter a car. Seen out there, that silver bloody blah." I'm like, "Yeah, you want it?"
Oh, that's right.
We always go back to ADHD, right? You took your medicine today?
Yeah, but it's long gone.
Yeah, I know. Me too. This is our first late night interview and our first interview
ever.
Again, we like to thank you here at the Spotify exclusive podcast that they don't know is exclusive on Spotify, Under the Tree. We because we're creative here. We work backwards, frontwards, upwards. Yeah,
I get it.
Downwards. Right.
Yeah,
it's like a walkovator.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Really, exactly. And then we'll get there.
Yeah.
So we're gonna finish up with our Klarke Kent experience, because after this, we're going to actually reach out to that daughter, maybe, or even I didn't even consider the wife. I forgot.
Yeah. I mean, so I think where we kind of left off with Klarke Kent, and his life, we met with him that one time. You met with him. I think we actually remember at one point you had hired your sister to call multiple times.
To check on him.
Yeah, to check on him, make sure he was alive. We would periodically check, because he wasn't answering his phone. We would periodically check for the obituary, because he was so old. I mean, he just was such a frail looking man that honestly, I thought COVID might have taken him out.
I know for me personally, it was I don't want to know he's dead.
Yeah.
That's gonna maybe,
because it kind of ends everything.
Yeah, it's not want to.
Yeah, because the wife and daughter are not keeping his stuff.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah.
So I think it was probably around last year. I don't know. I was probably doing something stupid one late night, bored, and I Googled the address, or I Googled their name again. Klarke Kent, trying to find him, trying to figure out what he was up to. Was he dead? Was he alive? What's going on? Because the Justice for Shellie website was shut down at some point during COVID. So we were like, okay, the website's not being maintained. The updates stopped, stuff like that. Did something happen?
Yeah, because I remember at what certain point it was monthly posts.
Yeah. And he was
yes,
there was every 6 months. And then he got hit with a defamation of character lawsuit. And I think that might have slowed him down a little bit, but not entirely.
Yeah.
And then he just kind of went dark.
Yeah.
And so I think it was probably last summer, maybe last fall. I can't really remember, but sometime the last year at least, he put his house up for sale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Over $1 million. I think it's sold pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And the last that based on my research, is he may have relocated to Florida.
Wow, where the old folk go.
Yeah.
So,
I think I couldn't remember, like, because it's been years now. I couldn't remember his wife's name.
mm-hmm.
I know where she worked,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think she's there anymore because they didn't have the same last name. She
Right.
kept her maiden name.
Right.
So,
you know your boss when you.
yeah, no, there's no Dr. Kent.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
we weren't able to locate her anytime recently. But I think she does have a medical license still in Virginia. And I think when we knew her name, we had verified it was in Florida at the time.
Okay.
So she may have relocated her practice. Maybe she retired. I'm not too sure.
She was younger though. Remember?
Significantly younger,
Yeah.
25 to 30 years younger.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Young hot wife, Clark Kent. I mean, you're Clark Kent, of course. You can get who you want.
True.
Plus, with that backyard, I'm dropping my own. You know what? I'm just, you guys, you should have seen it. What a.
It was beautiful.
What a yard. You've never seen
Never
a
seen a
yard.
yard like this.
So good. So great.
So who knew? We actually don't know where Clark Kent is right now.
We don't know where he is, but we're going to find out. We're going to try our darndest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be reaching out to that other person that helped him run the website, the person that I was emailing. Remember them?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to reach out to them as well. I only have their email. I believe they're older too, right? Was the reason why I only was talking to someone through email in 2019?
Oh, yeah. Did she have a code name? I know it.
Yes.
It started with an M. Was it code name for real? Or
can't remember what the code name is.
Miranda? It was Miranda. Like Miranda Rights. Because
that's
Justice for Shellie Kent.
Oh, shit.
Your shirt says Kelly's.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, oh, yes. Kelly is our sponsor.
Kelly's
Tavern. They'll give us nachos for this, I'm sure.
Plugging them.
Yeah, so we're going to find that one of those family members.
Yes. We're going to try. Yeah.
Maybe they didn't, maybe they didn't burn this stuff. Maybe. I don't. If he told, her about us, maybe they would hold on. But also, maybe it was a curse. We don't want anyone else to get sucked into this lifestyle.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe they ended the curse if he's really dead.
Yeah.
Or if he's alive, maybe he's, caught up to 2024 and digitized. Just kidding.
He downloaded his own consciousness onto iCloud.
And
he's still gonna be like, "What's up? What is a podcast?"
I meant his binders.
Oh, okay. Well, so you back in?
We'll see.
We'll see. Okay, I like those odds. I'll take those chances. That's definitely someone who could do some research as a guest, right? At the very least,
yes,
come on in for a 5-minute segment for me, give you a
sure. I can
here we go. We're back, baby.
The dynamic duo.
Yes, I feel 32 again.
Oh, you really take this.
I know, right? Young. All right, so we're gonna reach out to those folks, and then maybe we can even get that third Wham City around. You think she?
We could try.
It's another classmate of ours. We all graduate at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us alive, though.
Some of us are not.
Mm-hmm. Yes. All right. Well, thank you all for listening. Please subscribe. Please share this with all your friends. People have reached out to me after I put out the trailer. Someone even emailed me and said, "Thank you for taking on the case." And I don't know why they said that. I'm no trained detective. I say that as a comedian, but you put a lot of pressure on me, that person who sent that. You really are. Thanks for taking on the case. So that lives in my head now. Thank you. Should I thank them?
Yeah.
Thank you for revitalizing that. That we guess my son being named Carson wasn't good enough for that. Whoopsie. Really need a stranger email, and that's inspiring. All right, well, we're signing off here. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Hey, thank you all for listening to that. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope we can do some more interviews. And I'm really trying to track down that third partner now because I know they got some good stuff. I know they do. So, thanks for listening. Really appreciate it. Uh, Listen, I guess I'm an outro guy too now. Some takeaways, I can't blame Zloh for not listening to my podcast too much. I'm also going on vacation that week too. Oopsie, forgot. My dad did die this year. I will take, if you want to say sorry for your loss, how about instead sorry for the subscribe as you subscribe to this and listen and bring awareness to Shelley's murder and send us to your friends. That would be a little more helpful. I just want to point out that our Mr. friend Klarke Kent was willing to give me a car, but not the autopsy. Huh. Hmm. Interesting. It just wanted you guys to put that together. He was going to give me a car, but not that autopsy. So, yeah, let that simmer. Why didn't he want to give us that information? For a certain reason, or not even saying a suspicious reason. Maybe it's fame and glory. He didn't want his work to be he didn't want our success of a podcast to overshadow his blog. Maybe. I'm not sure. Could have been that. Anyway, you think about that, okay? You guys think about that. Thank you for supporting this. Like I said, we're a broke podcast. You can reach out to me on all platforms. Ian Bryce 3000. That's Bryce with an I. Why have a Bryce with a Y when you can have a Bryce with an I, right? Ian Bryce 3000. I'm God, I can't believe I said that. Oh, jeez. But don't worry, I'm going to be making a under the tree page, Facebook, all that. It's just like, oh God, another thing to do. Like I said, I'm a one-man show right now unless Zloh wants to come back. So I guess I'll put a poll up. Do you want to see more Zloh? Do you want me to see a partner? Do you need to break up all the crazy stuff I say in my head, out my mouth, and like someone, to calm me down a little bit? Huh? The poll will tell us. The polls tell all. Remember, this is a Spotify exclusive podcast that they don't know is exclusive. But you do. But you do. Yeah. All right. So, what's coming up, you say? So the 19th anniversary of Shelley's murder will be on August 14th. So, that's when we will release episode 1. That's where we start there. As long as I don't get I'll be doing it. Or if I can't mentally do it, I want you guys to know I did my best. All right, but you guys have been way supportive of this. I appreciate it. I know Shelly appreciates it. Like we said, there's not a lot of people that still care. Everyone that seems to care is an old friend. It doesn't seem like a lot of family is around to care. But thank you for caring by listening to this. It means a lot. I'm sure it does. And enjoy your summer. Yeah. Because I'm probably just going to post this last episode on the 14th, and then I might be out for the rest of August, bro. I'm tired. I've accomplished a lot right now. And yeah, so for comedy stuff, I'll be at the God, what is it? Jesus. God, Ian, why don't you know these things off the top of your head? I will be at the Busy Bee comedy show located at Haley's Honey. I will be at Haley's Honey Meadery. All right, performing at the Busy Bee comedy show on August 17th. Okay, Hopewell, Virginia. If you know anyone out there, let them know. Otherwise, thank you. Take care. Hope to see you. God, why did